Our next speaker for the day is Miguel. Miguel Braganza. He's going to speak on organic farming, the seeds of good health.
Is you forget where the seeds of our sickness sodium nitrate. These were not produced for the farmers. You hear of the Maoist, the People's War Group, blowing off railway tracks, blowing off cars, and now you hear of the Hamas firing rockets into Israel. Calcium ammonium nitrate, sodium nitrate. They take the fertilizer, put it in one big canister and blast it off. So this was originally made as war chemicals to fight wars. First World War, Second World War were fought with these chemicals. And then when the war ended, could you let down a company that helped you win the war? Then you found that nitrogen was an essential element for plants, and if you can dilute this war chemical and make it into a fertilizer, you can still sell it. And that's where the human greed through the corporate sector has reached us. We willingly pay today 20 rupees to buy a kilo of the fertilizer and apply, not really bothering to think that this was actually a war chemical which the plants grew without for millions of years. Fertilizers are the product of the first and second world. We see insects eating something in our garden and immediately we want to spray it. Today what we use is organophosphorus, forate, cyclophos, chlorpyrifos, furadon, all this type of chemicals we use. And earlier we used, most famous among them was DDT, then came BHC, were chlorinated hydrocarbons. Chlorine was the first World War chemical used for dispersing the crowds. Now the police use it as tear gas. From there all the chlorine compounds come, including the bleach that you put to purify your water in the public water supply system. And phosgene gas was used in the Second World War when you could not blast the tanks. You didn't have anti-tank missiles, you didn't have anti-tank guns, you didn't have anti-tank artillery. So you just knocked off the tank commander or the tank driver by knocking off his nerves. And all those nerve gases had phosphorus in it. And then get a whole range of organophosphorus. Same companies, whether it's Monsanto, or Rallis, or Bayers, all companies which supported the war effort are today giving you the chemicals to control. And we happily pay for it and use it to kill those pesky insects, not realizing that we are slowly administering small doses of the poison to ourselves. And we tell our children, eat more vegetables, they're good for health. We tell people who come from abroad, don't eat all this murg masala, rogan gosh, all these things, those masalas will kill you. Eat vegetables, eat fruits, you are happy. And in 1998, along with Anna Hazare and others, we were at a watershed conference in Gurgaon, and there were two American scientists who had come down. The session, there were of course people from all over the world. But these two guys were young and they were advised, you don't have all this Punjabi stuff. You eat fruit salads, you have fruit juices and you have vegetable juices and you will be safe. On the fourth day, both these guys were hospitalized. All of us were okay. We were having a great time eating all the rogan gosh and everything. We were fine with tandoori chicken. These two guys were hospitalized. The question the doctor asked is, what is your normal diet these days? And they said, we have only fruits and vegetables, juice, and that also fresh. Fruit salad also fresh. They said, that is the problem. In Haryana, before they harvest any fruit, they spray just so that it may not be affected during storage and transport. And those are all fresh poisons that are in your body. And there is no rogan gosh also to flush it out. So that's why you are sick. 2 days they were in hospital. On the 5th day they were back. They were eating everything and they were okay. So often if you think you are vegetarian, you are safe. You are vegan, you are safer. Wrong. Because if you are eating chemical sprayed, chemical laced vegetables, you are worse off than you were before. So gardening may give you a good relaxing experience. You may be in better state of mind, but may not be in better state of body because of the things you use. And that's why we say you go to organic. The first thing starts with seeds. If you get nice, fancy colored, shining seeds, green, orange, purple, don't buy them. These are coated with organometallic compounds that keep out the fungus, that keep out the bacteria from attacking us, that keep out the pesky little weevils that will eat the seeds. It ensures as good as 100% germination, but it poisons you. Would you take poison to remain healthy? You would not. So these colored seeds that you get from various companies, keep them out. Natural brown, natural straw colored, natural grey, those are the best ones to use. So seed is where you start to use the proper material. Endosulfan. There was one journalist called Sri Padre who campaigned against the use of endosulfan. We have used it, I have used it, I have given it to farmers in endosulfan. It was a cure-all for the tea mosquito bar in cashew. In Kasargod, they used to spray it from the helicopters and planes to control the tea mosquito bug in the big plantations that they have. And they found one hamlet in Kasargod where children were being born without brains. Not with smaller brains, without brains. They were deformed. And this one journalistic campaign is still around, very active, has a news magazine in Canada called Adike Patrike, which means I cannot leave, on which people used to write before. And he campaigned for it, and then the Supreme Court had to intervene. And first they said, only in Kasargod you can't use endosulfan. All others can go to hell. Then there was another case including the other users, and they said, okay, you cannot manufacture, store or sell endosulfan in India. The Pesticide Association of India ran a counter-writ petition to them, saying it is the cheapest chemical to kill all these insects which are doing damage. Fortunately, the Supreme Court did not listen to them. We are alive. This chemical was used also extensively in Goa. We have alternatives. You know, in a class, if you have boys like me, who are noisy, talking all the time, moving all over the place, the teacher makes you the monitor. All issues stop. So you find organisms which are not harmful, which are a little bit boisterous, which keep everybody else in check, and you make them as an antagonistic organism in the soil. You put Trichoderma viride, all your other fungi which are there, Phytophthora, Pythium, Botrytis, all this keep off. So Trichoderma viride, which is brought, becomes the monitor for all soil-borne fungal insects. You can also spray it. You have Bovaria bassiana, another fungus, which if you apply to insects that fly, their wings harden, they can't fly. Especially the rhino beetle that you get going into your coconut trees and killing them. You take one rhino beetle, dip it into this solution of Bovaria bassiana, leave it. Its wings become hard. When it mates, it gives to the female. They are not monogamous, so when the female mates with another one, he gets a little bit of the fungus, and all of them get little bit harder wings. They don't die, but they can't fly to the top of the coconut tree where they will do the damage. So you are safe. So various things are there which can be used to control things without killing. It may be a simple thing like taking a laundry starch or the rice water after you have cooked your rice and spraying it on the mango tree to control the mango hoppers. You don't need chemicals to grow food and survive, even to feed a larger population, because its human population, and the trees have survived millions of years before 1918 when the First World War ended. The world continued to live between 1918 and 1939 when the Second World War started. And if all the chemicals are stopped from being manufactured, we will still survive. Normally people will talk about the famines that took place. All the famines that took place was due to lack of buying power, not because of want of food. It's documented. So all the rubbish that is talking to you that you require all the chemicals to grow food to feed the growing population is utter rubbish. The people who tell you know it, the people who listen don't. Okay, that's corporate propaganda, works very well. So what we need to do is find alternatives and how we can do it. Simple things that you and I can do. This is in Talegaon. Talegaon in Goa is known for people constructing high-rise buildings. It's also a place where people have started turning organic. It's done by people who they say you should not sell land to them, they are outsiders. But my friends Karan and Yogita, very perfect outsiders doing the best work for promotion of agriculture in Goa. So those who grow their own vegetables in their own areas do many things. One, have a better state of mind, are going out into the fresh air, doing physical exercise, being in touch with the ground, which also is good. They are producing vegetables when they are going to be consumed, so you don't need them to be transported like your apples from Australia, cheaper than apples that come from Kashmir, because you pay less directly. But part of your taxes are going to pay towards that transportation from Australia to here because of subsidies. If you are not paying, the Australians are paying it. Someone is paying for it, it's not coming for free. So all these things stop when you start growing it where you need it. And the other thing with nature is, in Shravan time you get certain type of vegetables. It's encouraged that everyone become vegetarian in Shravan, so that the fish can develop the roe and get the young ones. Get you enough fish for the future. You eat fish during Shravan time, you are likely to get less fish afterwards. So the timing is right. You can grow cabbages during winter, you can't grow them in summer. You eat cabbage in summer, it gives you gas. Then you take all kinds of medication to control the gas. If you would have not eaten the cabbage during the time, it would have been better. But we want to eat certain type of things, which nature tells us it's not for this weather. You don't get mangoes in the monsoon, you get mangoes in summer. It gives you your vitamin A and whatever else you require, minerals at that point of time. You don't need it all the time of the year. So we have to go with nature, and that's how we work. When people say, I don't have land, you don't need land, you can grow it in a pot. You don't have a pot, you can grow it in a basket. You don't have a basket, you can just put an old tire, put mud in the middle and grow it. You just have to use your imagination. People even grow it in art paper bags, just reverse it. The glossy side inside, the rough side outside. You put cocoa peat into that, you can grow vegetables for a season. You can grow bags now, ready to use with cocoa peat and art paper. And you can do it. You can do it in old threads, you can do lots of things. You can get plastic pots which are as good as clay pots. Environmental cost of using mud, which has taken centuries to be produced, and using plastics. It's a debate that can go on, but you need to decide somewhere and grow. This is a simple art that has been developed by the madams in the army. Army brigadiers, generals, their wives, they have a lot of education. They can't have any job because their husbands keep on getting transferred. They don't want them to be a security risk by taking jobs in the what they call the civilians. We are the inferior people for the armed forces, defense guys and civilians. Civilians is like a derogatory term, like almost calling scheduled caste. Those bloody civilians, they say.
Like outsiders.
Yeah. Like outsiders. And their civilian dress also is uniform. Black pants, black shoes, white shirt. That's called civilian dress. You can't wear check shirt and go for the function because then
what about the fertilizers and seeds which are hybrid seeds or genetically modified seeds? Can you throw some lights on them?
fortunately, we don't have genetically modified seeds in our food crops. It is not official. The problem with genetically modified seeds and plant varieties is what they call it an event. They don't call it a variety. Like you have BT brinjal. Now BT is an abbreviation taken from Bacillus thuringiensis, which is a bacteria which we used to spray on the plants to control a particular butterfly caterpillar that would make holes in the cotton ball or in the brinjal fruit. Now it has a protein which gives it indigestion and kills it ultimately. Now what they have done is they have taken the gene away from this bacteria and put it into the plant. So the plant produces the protein that kills the insect. It also enlarges human liver and can cause cancers. It's been tested on fish, it's been tested on chicken, it has been tested on goats and tested on rats. Chicken and fish, nothing happens. But the rats and goats are mammals related to us. They have died of enlarged livers. So it's something that we have fought for 2009, 2010 and thank God Jairam Ramesh, he put a moratorium on it, which of course Sharad Pawar wanted to release it and I hope he doesn't do it now because he is a partner and investor into Maharashtra Hybrid Seed Company, which is a Monsanto subsidiary marketing the seed. So greed is what I talked about, that's the issue. Fertilizers are a problem because fertilizers give us free radicals. And then to reduce the free radicals which cause aging and cancer, we take antioxidants. You don't use fertilizer, you don't need antioxidants. You live naturally long. So the genetically modified thing is absolutely out. Fertilizer, when it's manufactured, there's a problem. The urea is good. But every 100 kilos of urea will have 0.07% of thiourea, which is carcinogenic. It will always have. And so you will always have that problem. So that is something that we don't need. We can grow with organic manure, with cow dung, with panchagavya. So why use what you don't need when you know it is harmful? Pesticides, of course, outright, they were made to kill human beings, now diluted and used for insects. When our body, especially after 40, when we start putting on fat, this is all fat solvent, they get deposited, they remain in our body fat and they start attacking our system. Most cancer patients are above 40. So now it's coming lower because I don't know if you have read the newspapers, Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's in China have been sued and put on hold because dead and diseased chicken was being shredded and going into the hamburgers. Okay? Big companies. What they say is if you're poor, you're a criminal, and if you're a corporate, then you're good. You're doing the same thing, killing people, but it's corporate. Okay? Organic vegetables are available only in season currently, but we hope that within the next 2 or 3 years it should be available around a year. Organic fruits come with Green Goa Works in Mapsa, but they're not around a year. So organic is something we're trying to create a niche. Possibly you will get it from various sources, but you will have to wait at least for this winter for it to start off in a bigger way.
So what about Yogi Farms in Talegaon?
Yeah, Yogi Farms is what I was talking about. Yogita Mera, she's the culprit. She's doing it. It's organic.
It's not available now.
Well, no, in winter it will be available. They have organic Saturdays डाला है, you will have it around like that. Okay. Peter's also been growing vegetables, and I think there will be more people growing, and you will have more vegetables coming from this November onwards.
There are a lot of ladies who are selling in Talegaon vegetables in the evening. Those are
Not fully organic because they use urine, but others pesticide free. You can classify them as NPM, non-pesticide
It
management.
is still better than the market.
100 times better